Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Rama, Rama 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 Rama, Rama 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 Rama, Rama Rama Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Arpanamattu. With grateful pranams, we have submitted the Nama flowers at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. And today, we all know it is the examination season for all the students, be it school or college. It is either study holidays or the examinations are going on. Since 99.9% of the people are in the world and of the world, every day facing some challenge or the other. So all these life's issues are very important. We need grace of God to come to our help. We need His grace for guidance and protection. Especially the students who are possessed by this examination fear, who get very nervous. They get nervy and worked up. And added to this whole year, it has been studying through the online. So one can imagine their plight. At such times, and even ordinary times, it's only grace that can come to our help. And the easy way to access this grace is to chant the name. This is what our Bhagwan, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, had taught us. Now today we shall live the experience of Anjani Vora of Switzerland. We have already gone through one or two experiences of her. She lives in Switzerland with her husband and 2 daughters. But if you enter her house, you would see so many photos of Yogi Ramsuratkumar and the daily Nama chanting, and lots of puja and prayer, that one would begin to wonder if that was a house in Europe. Such is her devotion to Bhagwan, her fondness for Bhagwan's Nama. She says in a letter which came recently that she has very well understood that by chanting the name, things are getting done by themselves, and there is no need really to pray separately. She has experienced the truth of the statement of Bhagwan. When you keep chanting the name, there is no need to pray separately. The Nama will take care, will do the needful. This has become her experience. Now she has one or two stories to tell us, very interesting, especially for the students. Her second daughter, her first daughter Celia, we had already seen, we had already heard the story of her participation in the boat race. Though she did not have quite very good faith in Bhagwan, her mother chanting the name Yogi Ramsuratkumar, how it helped Celia in her competition. Just when she was the leader of the group, a boat was allotted to them, and as they were rowing, at one point there was a sag. She was not able to function with so much enthusiasm. Things were slowing down, and she found, to her great wonder, her mother assuring her that she would be chanting the name of, she was already chanting the name of Bhagwan, and that would surely help her. True to her statement, she found within minutes, getting filled with Bhagwan's energy, a new enthusiasm, a new spirit was felt by her very deeply. She picked up the lost spirit and enthusiasm, and then she finished her journey successfully, the boat race. This we had already gone through. Now, Anjani's second daughter, Solen, 15 years, she's going to celebrate her birthday this coming 22nd of this March. Now, that is her 16th birthday. When she was 15 years, her examination was fast approaching. It was the examination of German language. And she had to memorize texts for recital. She was finding it very difficult, and she successfully managed one or two or three of them, but that was about all. So she was getting very nervy. She was full of tension, very much stressed out, and she didn't know what to do. But she had found her mother all the time chanting the name Yogi Ramsuratkumar, calling out to Yogi Ramsuratkumar for help, guidance and protection. When Anjani found her daughter very nervous about the approaching examination, she said, Anjani is listening to my satsangs regularly. She said in one of the satsangs, I was talking about a student, a girl student, who used to write the questions that she had studied well, which were also important. She would write them and put them before Bhagwan's photo, chant his name and pray. And to her great joy, the same questions would come in the examination. It never failed her. Every time she did that successfully. So picking up this idea from the satsang, Anjani told her daughter, look, whichever text that you have memorized well, You just put it before Bhagwan and pray to him and chant his name. I should also chant the name of Bhagwan for your success. Don't worry. She talked reassuringly, and this girl, Solen, picked up strength and spirit, and she did just as her mother instructed. She wrote down the name of the text she knew very well, prayed to Bhagwan, and there were still 2 weeks to go. Now, while chanting the name, she found getting filled with a strange peace. She was no more so tensed up, so nervy. She found herself moving about, confident. She picked up a little confidence. All the same, whenever she thought of the day of the examination, there would be an attack of this nervousness. But again, she would assure herself, Yogi Ramsuratkumar is there with her. On the big day of the examination, she went to the school because this examination was very important. If she had to come out of the school, it would be added to her final examination to come out of the school. So she wanted a pass. Her mother was also trying in her own way, chanting and writing Bhagwan's Nama for her daughter's sake. So on the big day of the examination, when Solen went to the school, in the classroom, her teacher spread all those bits of paper with different text names on them, and they were kept face down. There was a window in the front. She was standing at a little distance, Solen, and the teacher, before she called her, we do not know what made her do this. There was a gesture from her. Suddenly she picked up all those papers and saw the topics and put them down. A move very strange. She probably did not mean to. It could have been the play, the divine play of Yogi Ramsuratkumar, but that was enough for Solen. She had seen the topics and the places of the bits, and she found also her favorite topic and where it was placed. What was more, there was a sunlight from the window. It fell upon those papers, making them transparent. So she was very sure which bit of paper was her favorite. She went straight and took it, and then she knew to her great delight and joy it was exactly what she wrote and kept before Bhagwan, and she finished her recital successfully. So you see, with grace, we can do anything. Whatever we ask for, the grace would help, because our work is not perfect. We may not do hard work for so many reasons. But when the element of grace enters the same work, the whole thing would change in quality and character. That is a speciality of grace. And how do we invoke it? By merely chanting His name. So this is a great lesson or a way out for the students who get very nervous about their examination. All of us have gone through the seasons. we know that as soon as we enter the hall, the mind would go blank. No matter how much you had studied, it would mostly happen. But then the divine, if we have the confidence, the faith in the divine, and invoke the grace by chanting the name, surely the help would come. So it's for the students, for some reason or the other, because of these online classes, they can also try this method. By Bhagwan's grace, it would be a great help to them. Now, Anjani says, she goes on to say, describe another experience. The letter came on the 11th of March, I think. In the letter she said, this March 22nd is the birthday of Solen. But much before that, even before the letter, some 2 weeks before that, her daughter started to plan everything for her 16th birthday. She was very excited about it. She was also nervous because she was worried how she would arrange all those things. Who are the people she had to invite? And the details concerned with the function. She was very worried about it somehow, and then she was not able to sleep also sometimes. One night, as it happened, she became very restless thinking of all those details. And when she found herself so restless, now by her first experience, she knew that Yogi Ramsuratkumar would come to her help. She began to chant Yogi Ramsuratkumar, and soon the sleep took over very naturally. She fell asleep. The next day morning, she got up and she was glowing. Her eyes were shining, wide-eyed with a great excitement. She came to her mom and said, "Mom, I saw Yogi Ramsuratkumar yesterday." What a statement. Just imagine somebody coming and telling you that I saw him. I saw him so close to me. I saw him just as I see you now, right in front of me. But this is what she said to her mother. Her mother, of course, was stunned. And then the daughter went on to explain. She said after she fell asleep, in her dream, she heard a knock on the door. And the dogs outside started barking. So she called out to her father and said, "Who is it, father? There must be somebody outside." Her father said, Yes, it is him. It is him." He didn't say who it was. Now, she was a little unsettled. Solen said, "Father, who is this him?" Then father said, "It is Yogi Ramsuratkumar." What? Before she could reconcile, before she even absorbed what he said, the door opened of its own accord, and in walked Yogi Ramsuratkumar in all his splendor. Just as she always saw in the photographs, he had this green turban carelessly thrown around his head, which of course sat like a diamond. Diadem. And of course the dirty clothes, the shawl, colorful shawl. He walked in like a storm with such a divine majesty. There was a smile on his lips. At one point he stopped and turned. Why? There was this notebook of Anjani Vora where she was writing his Nama. Bhagwan stopped there and laughed joyfully and then proceeded. He went straight to the kitchen. Of course, Solen ran after him, and so did her father. Anjani was already inside, and immediately they welcomed him and they gave him a cup of milk. Bhagwan drank it with great joy, blessed them all nicely, and left. You can imagine, Solen said, "Mom, it was so real. I still remember every detail of him. His eyes, his nose, his face, his clothes, his turban, and the way he walked, the joy and the brilliance on his face. He was like an innocent boy. At one time, he looked to me as an innocent and playful boy, and he laughed so much." The exact description of Bhagwan as we had seen him physically. What a wonderful gift, birthday gift to Solen from Bhagwan. What could be a better gift than this? Anjani was overjoyed. She too was overwhelmed. And then she said she too had a dream of Yogi Ramsuratkumar. But it was very different in character. She said she found herself in a very lonely space, and she was walking fast, and suddenly she heard the noise of steps behind, and she found a man with evil intentions chasing her. She started to run. She was so scared. She started to run. He also started to run after her, and soon he caught up with her. Now she was desperate, and she screamed, "Yogi Ramsuratkumar." That is when she screamed, "Yogi Ramsuratkumar." And then she woke up, because she found herself screaming in bed so loudly it woke up everybody around. This was her dream. Both of them had the dream of Yogi Ramsuratkumar, and the dream was so real to each of them. In any case, they were happy that Yogi Ramsuratkumar had visited their place, because the house was truly like an ashram of Yogi Ramsuratkumar, because of Anjani, her devotion. And now, a little later, she went to pick up the mail from the mailbox, and what did she find? There was a book of Caleb Wadlington, his latest one of 108 verses translated into English. Like a mala it was. The book she found with a beautiful photograph of Bhagwan with raised hands and a smile on his lips, just as they saw in the dream. And she knew it was Yogi Ramsuratkumar who orchestrated every detail of both the dreams. So Anjani says, not a moment goes without remembrance of him, without calling out to him, without chanting his name, so much so that she says, even without praying for anything anymore, things simply happen as they want. Life has become easier and successful, and Nama is doing every miracle for them. Nama is their constant companion, their security and strength in life. This could be our story also, everyone's story also. All those people who chant Bhagwan's name have gone through many, many extraordinary events in life. We have been seeing it for the past 1 year now, day after day after day. Now this Bhagwan, just imagine, it's a Western culture, a place like Switzerland, where she could not talk about him to anybody. Nobody would understand the chanting of a name and the miracles that follow. Yet there are people in many countries. Today, Nishanth was saying that when he was traveling in a bus in Germany, Nishanth is Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar's brother-in-law's grandson. He has come from Germany. He said that he had boarded a bus there in Germany, the capital, and suddenly he found, when the stop came, there was an old man who had a walker with him, who was finding it difficult to walk and get down from the bus. Suddenly there was a man behind him. He came of his own volition to help. He helped this man out and was getting down himself, and that is when Nishanth saw a photograph of Yogi Ramsuratkumar printed on his shirt. Can you imagine? In Germany, in the capital, Nishanth is boarding a bus. And he was very, very happy. He told me very happily that the man, out of all those people in the bus, he was the only one who came forward to help the old man. And he had Yogi Ramsuratkumar's picture on his shirt. But before he could find out, the bus moved on, so he could not contact him, but he was very, very happy. So you see, there are people here and there who have found this name very useful. Bhagwan's name has touched thousands of lives in a very quiet way, and it is still doing its transformation work upon people. Now this Bhagwan is here right in front of us. Let us submit our today's prayers at his lotus feet. Bhagwan, we seek your immediate divine intervention. Please do something to free the world from the clutches of this Rakshasic virus and bring back normalcy to life everywhere. Bhagwan, clear the minds of people, remove all the negativity, especially the panic which is doing more havoc than the pandemic. And Bhagwan, please stop the spread, the rapid spread of the disease. Enter those medicines which would work. Make them work so that they could kill the virus once for all. And Bhagwan, again, all those great sevaks who are laboring, slogging all through the day at the very risk of their lives, for the sake of other lives, fighting the disease. Please give them protection. And we want a lift, a huge lift to our economy. Above all, we seek your blessings again and again for constant remembrance of your name. Please bless us with the right attitude to life, the attitude of being an instrument, a good instrument, a fine instrument in your hands, and go about our everyday life with gratitude to you. Again, most importantly, please bless us with that purification so that we would be able to see every event, every happening of our life as a blessing, a definite great blessing from you. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.